Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. We are the Dawn of Ascension Morning Show, and I'm here with my Ascension Soul team, and we are here to share our views, tools for these crazy and wonky vibrations and energies that we're enjoying right now and living through. And we all know we've got a lot of crazy and wonky times right now. We are joined with my friend Aubrey, Susie, and Gina. And my name's Arlene, and I'm our host. And today, Gina is connected with the crystal realm, and she got a very, very important message. There's a lot of shifting and energies going on, and she got a very important message that's going to go along with our topic today, which is connecting with different energy fields, mindful switching of energies, and suggesting of upgrade frequencies. And these are just simple things like catching your thoughts, because all thoughts are things. All thoughts are things. Thoughts create what's going in around us. And you're also catching those thoughts and realizing, are those my thoughts? Are those my beliefs? Do they belong to my neighbor next door? Did someone just walk by me and drop that into my consciousness? I don't think like that. These are in different energies that we're here to understand, and we've got some tools to help you understand and how to go through those energies. Okay, Gina, what is the crystal message today?
I'll get to that in 1 minute. I just want to give an example. It didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine. We were, uh, there was a Zoom meeting on, and she told me afterwards, the whole Zoom meeting, all she could think about was chocolate cake. And that's not really her. And she was like, I don't know why. It was like I was obsessed with chocolate cake. And as soon as the meeting ended and we all got off, that thought went away from her. And it was like, oh my God, she was picking up somebody on that Zoom really wanted chocolate cake and she was picking it up. So it was just such a perfect example. I had to share that.
Oh, that is a good example.
It really does happen.
Yeah.
All right. Now for the crystals. So in our last session, I talked about my seeing myself as in the soup of everything forming to form the earth. I was the original spark, or I was part, whatever. I was the original spark that became the crystalline grid, or I'm connected with that. Um, and that crystalline grid, the original crystalline grid of Mother Earth, is now integrating with seeded grids. I got a little bit more detail on that today, that there were two seeded grids that were brought here. One was the Atlantis Lemurian grid, and the other was the Tartarian grid. So those grids are integrating now with the original earthen grid. And while that integration now is about 96% complete. I checked in just before starting the show, and it's all raising. So that whole grid is raising its frequencies, but it's raising its frequencies also to match a crystalline overlay that is coming in from a higher frequency. So they're coming in to connect and integrate together. Then that's going to take about I get 2 weeks to completely what would it be? Circulate throughout the earthen fields. So both within Mother Earth, Tara, Gaia, all of the different levels and frequencies from both outer Earth, middle Earth, inner Earth, and then back out. So it's going to take a while, but frequencies are going to be changing all around us, in not only from that happening, but well, that's going to influence the trees, the elementals, the whole universe, basically. So there you go.
Ooh,
It's important now to really start to really be paying attention to what's happening around you and stay in the highest frequency possible.
And it's also important to keep in mind that, so I'm sure that everybody watching this has been through many purge cycles lately. Like we've really moved through a lot in order to be able to get to this point. This is really new Earth coming online in its full capacity right now, which means if there is anything in your frequency that is in the way of you being able to vibrate with new Earth, you're gonna have to purge it. It's gonna go. So it's you might notice your frequency dropping because there's something in the way. And just be really kind to yourself. Like it really is just a belief system or energy that you've held stored up that needs to move. And so your body will make sure to really call attention to it. You might experience sudden pain somewhere. That's a really good that's a really good way to bring awareness to some energy that you have been holding. Our bodies, our vessels are they're vessels of consciousness. Like like if you really interact with your body, you'll find it will tell you everything you need to know. And conversely, if you don't pay attention, it will tell you everything you need to know anyway. So as you're moving through this ascension process, really listen to your body. If you're feeling stressed or feeling anxious, notice where you're holding that in your body and feel into it and ask it what it is there, and really this is a very, very wonderful time to start building a partnership with your body, unlike any you've had before, because these grids are really building to support the crystalline nature of the new human form. So you can jump on that board just by listening.
wow, thank you for that, Aubrey and Gina. Those are just it's wonderful information. And yes, we do need to pay attention to that. Some of the other awarenesses that we were talking about too, and Aubrey, I know would like to expand through this a little bit, is we can be aware of our body action. You know, not only are we catching our thoughts and our beliefs, but we can since we're grounding more, be more aware of our body action. And this is awareness through walking, awareness through motion, awareness through what you're doing. Um, I would always work on being aware when I walk through a doorway. And, you know, some are wide or some are narrow, but just be aware. I walked through a doorway. How wide is that doorway? What does that doorway feel like? And then just be aware of your senses. You know, just smell the wonderful things on the air outside, and be aware of when you're feeling something. What does the fabric feel like? What does the fabric feel like to the towel that you're using in the kitchen, or the one you just dried your body with? Or is the front door handle feel kind of yucky? Does it need to be cleaned because it's dirty? You can feel that kind of stuff. So there's lots of ways to be aware of your personal senses and aware of things that are going around you. Susie, anyone else have anything to say? Gina.
What kept coming while you were saying that is I remember a lesson taught by Carlos Castanedas of walking with in the dark with your eyes closed and being aware of what's around you. So even not with your eyes closed, but looking straight ahead at the horizon line and trusting where your feet are going. It's like being aware of your feet moving on the ground and being aware of stones under your foot, of brushing against a bush as you go by, and even saying hello. The elementals would love that, but that's I've practiced that at times. It's really an interesting thing, even just to walk down the driveway that you're aware of, that you've walked down millions of times, or a path that you've walked and you know the path. Close your eyes and walk it. It gives it a different perspective. And it only takes a minute or so. Open it
Right.
if you feel uncomfortable. It's okay. You're safe.
That's a really good tool, and that's a fun one. And I started that one back in my 20s. And you can even be aware of things. They look like a shadow through your third eye when your eyes are closed. Then it's almost like you can see enough to maneuver without bumping into something, and enough to feel it. But yeah, that's a really fun one. That's a really fun one to do. Yes.
And
Susie, oh, go ahead, Aubrey.
I
Yeah.
also think that a lot of the point of having this awareness is to have the practice in your life of noticing how much, like, what is in your reality, because the truth is you are manifesting everything in your reality. You're creating it for yourself. And so the first step of shifting realities is being aware and just noticing what you've already created for yourself. And it's a good idea to bring yourself like from a zoomed out perspective, and just notice. You're not doing anything, you're not taking action, you're simply bringing awareness to your surroundings and to what's inside of yourself.
Ooh, that's a yes. Yeah. And there's such a piece about that too,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to release belief systems. You have to you have to be in the now moment. You can't be in the past or in the future. And yeah, there's a real peace in going to that space. Hmm.
All right, Susie.
Well, I'm just really, really excited, ladies, because this past weekend I visited a little crystal shop, and my eye caught this new oracle deck called Mushroom Spirit Oracle.
Aw.
And you
Oh,
and you know how fairies love their mushrooms. So I thought today I could pull a fresh card from this deck over here. And I did clear it, Gina, because I knew you're probably, did she clear the deck? Yeah, so I'll just pull a card and see what they have to say. Yeah, now these cards are really, really, really fun because they actually tell you a little bit about the different types of mushrooms and
oh,
what they are, and they tell you if they're edible or poisonous. And and this one's really interesting. This one's a nighttime one, so it sort of glows in the daylight, sorry, in the nighttime. But this one I believe is poisonous. But they're so fun. I've been going through each card and looking at them and just seeing, um, are you edible or are you poisonous, to try and work on, my intuition skills, right? To try and see. And I think I got most of them right. So, all right. So we've got the parrot wax cap, and I believe this one is edible, I think. What do you ladies think? Do you think it's edible or poisonous? Well, I look this up.
I bet it's poisonous.
Just
Poisonous.
being green.
Let's see. It's called Gliophorus cetaceanus. So wow, that's quite a name. And it's edible.
Oh, nice.
But it's not advised due to its slimy texture. Can also cause gastrointestinal upset.
So,
So
sounds
so I think you're right, Aubrey. I think probably it's not edible.
It won't kill you.
No. That's right. Right. So this card is all about isolation. Right. So I don't know what I'm picking up on this card is a little bit of sadness. You know, when you're walking along a path and the little mushrooms are sitting there and you just sort of walk right by the mushroom and you don't pay it any attention. That's how I think these little mushrooms are feeling right now. And I don't know, I just want to kind of give them a hug. And, if we're feeling isolated ourselves with anything, I don't think we need to be. We are enough, we are worthy, and we can just take those walks, in the nature. Like Gina was saying, right? Close your eyes. That would be lots of fun. And just look inside yourself and just find what makes your heart sing and what makes you feel alive. And I think that's what we need to do, especially if we're feeling sad.
I completely agree, Susie. Well done.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's mushroom. That's a cool deck of cards.
Mhm.
Maybe we should put that in down below the author and the name of the deck in case anybody's interested in them.
Sure. Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Arlene, did you have a message from Bernard to share with us today?
Yes, I do. I do have a message from Bernard. So I've been connecting with Bernard more. It's taken a lot of healing on my part because I had to go through some lack of confidence in order to make sure that I heard his message clearly, and to learn to trust myself and my feelings and my intuition a little bit deeper. And while I was doing that this morning, I had an interesting clearing where I always feel like someone's stabbing me in the back, and it's just old stuff. And when I got to the point to where I knew that I had cleared through that belief system, all of a sudden I felt that spot in my back release where that knife was, and I felt a release of the muscles, and they felt relaxed across my back, which is way cool. So anyway, this morning the message from Bernard was that the other day when I grounded into him, then
There's a big oak tree in Arlene's backyard for
right,
anyone
we forget
who
about that.
really
Yeah,
needs.
he's a big golden oak tree, and he is laying on a cross ley line right in my yard. And he is in a ley line string with all these other golden trees that belong to the tree collective all around Mother Earth, and they all share um, golden energy and information, and then they spread that out within Mother Earth and the other not elementals, but like foliage and trees and stuff. So they spread it out like that. So anyway, he explained to me that within, because I ground now into him, that my energy that I hold light for now goes into him and into his grid system, and then my heart is connected to Mother Earth's new grid system, so that now I'm pouring energy into both of these grid systems, which is quite interesting. So anyway, Aubrey, I have something to ask. So, Bernard says we've been together a very, very long time. He's an old dear friend, just like Mother Earth. Can you explain a little bit about the Tree Collective? How they do they reincarnate? Are they is it just a consciousness that can come into a new tree and then be shared through that way? Is that how it comes or
Yeah, so trees are like our bodies are vessels that can hold consciousness. However, unlike a human body, they're linked into a collective consciousness. I mean, I guess the human body is also linked into a collective consciousness. But the trees kind of have a special role on here on planet Earth. They are wisdom keepers. They actually hold a lot of records of the earth, a lot of Akashic records, especially really, really big trees like the redwood trees. And so the spirit of a tree can and absolutely does reincarnate, and it can reincarnate as a tree. However, it can also reincarnate as a human. Some of you watching this might have been trees at some point,
oh
or you can choose to be a tree. But yeah, so each tree does sort of have its own personality, and you'll notice there's especially in smaller like woods or even just like just in proximity of each other, you'll if you start tapping in, you'll find there's often like a mother or a father tree, or sometimes it's an androgynous tree that plays a parental role for the trees around, and you'll see that the trees have friends or not friends with each other. You'll notice that their branches are either touching or not touching, and that depends on whether or not the trees are friends. um but their collective consciousness it's I keep wanting to say more connected than humans, but that's just not true. We're all way more connected than we think we are, and I think it's very important for us to. I think that's part of the reason that the trees are stepping in to reteach us right now how to stay connected to each other, because we truly are just as connected as trees. We just
oh
haven't been doing it. So it's time
We've
to.
forgotten.
We've forgotten how.
yes, we have forgotten a lot of things over the last 50 years.
Hmm.
Hmm
50, 100,
Yeah,
hundreds of years.
Hundreds and hundreds. It's been a lot of
yeah,
epochs.
epochs. Yes, yes, yes. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of cool just sitting kind of cool and connecting to them and um it's good. It's good. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Add to our program today?
Well, just on the trees as humans and trees. Um, in another episode of our talks, I spoke about a friend of mine who would see the fairies and elves jumping from car to car on freeways. Well, she came to visit me here in Arizona when I first moved here in a little house up in Clarkdale, Arizona. Um, it had a white picket fence and this beautiful big tree in the front yard. And when she came walking through the gate, she was like, "Oh, what a beautiful tree!" And he incarnated. She let me know he'd been a human and had decided to come back as a tree, and he was overseeing all of the Clarkdale area and protecting it. It was like, wow, that's totally cool. So it gave me a whole new perspective on that tree. And then out in the front yard here in Cornville, Arizona, I have a beautiful flowering plum tree, and next to it is a big mulberry tree. I don't think they get along too well because the whole half of the plum tree that's next to the mulberry tree is not doing well. I've had to cut off a few branches. So I hadn't really remembered that. I'll have to go out and have a conversation with them. Keep you
You
updated.
too. Why aren't you getting along?
Yeah,
I'll be your peacekeeper.
yeah. I'll try to remember to give you updates on how the plum tree is doing.
How the tree mediation is going.
Anyway,
That's funny. That's funny.
But when you pay attention to the world around you, which is what we've been talking about, these are the type of things you see. And it is so much fun.
It is. And
It really
also
is.
paying attention to your own thoughts. Like I was telling the ladies earlier that every time I walk through a doorway, I check in to see what I'm thinking about and if I want to be thinking about it, because I we the universe really does feed whatever energy we're focusing on, and it just, and not putting any judgment on yourself, and simply just noticing what you're thinking about and just making the choice of an active, like, consistent choice to be thinking about something you want to be thinking about, it makes a humongous difference in your reality. Your reality will shift way faster than it ever has before.
Yes, 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 it will. That's so powerful because thoughts are things.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They're things. We create them. We make stuff out of them. It's not called spelling for nothing. Thoughts are things.
Thoughts are things.
Wow, this has been such a wonderful basic conversation, and really it really it will really help everyone ground, and it's wonderful tools that we have used for years and years and years, um, for grounding into the heart. And it was really nice to learn about the crystals and the trees and how it's everything shifting, not just, it's almost like the humans are like this much, although we've created tons of chaos and bad energy, but we're like this much compared to everything that's shifting around us. So, oh,
Beep, beep.
oh, beep, beep. Yeah, we hear a beep, 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 beep. Oh, we have incoming message.
Beep, 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 beep.
Today we have messages from two different collectives that are related. We have messages from the bees and the spiders. So the bees wanted to let everybody know that they're working really hard right now on the vibration shifting, and the spiders are working really hard on weaving realities, kind of to assist in this new ascension process right now. So if you notice that you are seeing more spiders than usual, that's a really good thing. That means that the weavers are at work right now, shifting your timelines for you, so that you can kind of reach these new heights. So that's really exciting. And also, if you have a bee that won't leave you alone, listen to the vibration. You'll hear it, and it's actually giving you information. And simply just by listening to that buzzing, you are going to be able to shift and move a lot faster than you were before. So pay attention to your bees and your spider friends. And if you're afraid of spiders, this is a really good opportunity to acknowledge that and start working through that fear structure.
Good idea. Good idea. Yeah, I seen a big black bee, black bumblebee, like that big in our yard yesterday, and I haven't seen one for a while. So I was glad to see the big guy.
Yeah.
I had one yesterday. It wasn't, well, so it's all the different kinds of bees, right?
All of the bees.
The buzzing thing, because there's the mason bees and the honey bees and the bumblebees and
All
whatever.
of the bees.
But I had one, yeah, it was following me around literally for about 2 minutes. It was just all over.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, how are you? Finally, it was like, okay, you want my attention? Here I am. It just
Yeah.
wanted to say hello.
They're doing energy work. That bee was doing energy work.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah,
Cool.
fascinating. And everywhere I look lately, there's been spiders of one sort or another around. I did have to discontinue a black widow. I've told them. Yeah. Others I take outside or I say hello and move around, but yeah.
Black widow energy, the bite of a black widow, it is a very, very, very deep clearing mechanism. It will actually kill off a part of an aspect of you that needs to go through a death process. I don't recommend getting bit by a black widow in real life. However, if you are seeing black widows, tapping into their energy is a really good idea because they are there with a message for you.
Oh, that'd be very, very interesting.
It was just, it was living, it was under something that had to be
Oh
moved.
yeah, no, you're good. It's understand why.
I apologized, but I was like, I've told you, right in there with rattlesnakes on the property. No, don't,
Yeah.
just don't.
Mm.
But yeah.
All right, well, is that everything for today, ladies?
Yes,
I-
I think it is. So I would like to thank everyone for coming and viewing our show. And if you have any messages or comments or any topics that you would like us to discuss, please put them in the comments below and we'll be glad to share that information for you. So thank you everyone for viewing our Dawn of Ascension morning show, and we'll see you on the next show.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.